Hello, we're doing Lee's Lake Club in the scenic area of Lake Hopatcong, New Jersey. The purpose of our club is to provide an authentic hunting and fishing experience utilizing sustainable techniques developed by the Lenape Indians and marrying those with modern techniques and technologies as well. So the concept behind it is that the club has to be located along Lake Hopatcong, giving easy access to the canoes when you go fishing, as well as being surrounded by dense forest for hunting. The primary water source of the club will be the lake itself, so you don't have to deal with pipes running through everything and kind of destroying that beauty of the scenery. We're going to have the Lenape Indians as the members, instructors, and mentors, and they'll be dealing with the day-to-day operations, while me, Jack, and Anton will be dealing with the overarching concept and general viewpoint of it. The boats will have electric motors to help reduce pollutants in the water and the air, unlike gas and diesel engines, as well as we will also have canoes traditionally made by the Lenape to help with that authentic experience. The kitchen for the members will be a seasonal farm-to-table setup. The food that they're going to end up getting will be from both the lake and the forest surrounding Lake Hopatcong itself. So we're not dealing with having to wait 3 days to get a new shipment in. It's literally, you kill it that day and it's coming the next. So a quick little synopsis of what we got going on here. We have a sustainable hunting and fishing club, Lee's Lake Club, and it's going to be a mix of traditional and modern techniques, using the Lenapes as the day-to-day runners for everything. We're only going to end up hunting and fishing animals that are overabundant and pose a threat to the ecosystem surrounding Lake Hopatcong. This way, we are both remaining in harmony with the environment around us. And for fish, it's going to be largemouth bass, walleyes, muskellunge, smallmouth bass, chanels, catfish, and then you're going to have rock bass as well, a couple other different kinds of fish that stay above. For those that prefer a more meaty approach, you will have venison, bear, fox, and squirrel as some options available to you. Quick little history about Lake Hopatcong. So Lake Hopatcong was discovered by the Lenape Indians around 12,000 years ago. Lake Hopatcong is a result of glaciers moving through the area and creating that lake and that valley surrounding it. It is a spring-fed lake formed by the glaciers, and it was perfect. It was a perfect set for the Native Americans because it provided safe drinking and bathing water, as well as protection from the elements surrounding them. And it rarely overflowed due to the size of the lake, so they could set up camp and winter or storm there without worrying about things being flooded out from under them. And the surrounding forest was abundant with possible game for them, so they didn't have to worry about food or anything along that nature, so starvation wasn't too much of an issue for them. And the lake itself was a phenomenal breeding ground for freshwater fish, which the Indians also used to eat as well.
Alright, so here's an example of the fish and game they traditionally hunted. A major component of their food source involved hunting game, but it's important to note that the Lenape also fished and hunted fowl. This is because they didn't exclusively use one source. And if they did only hunt game and bigger meaty animals like that, that would have quickly led to their extinction. Some of the animals they traditionally hunted were deer, elk, black bear, raccoon, beaver, and rabbit. They also hunted wild waterfowl, marsh birds such as turkeys, ducks, geese, etc. And some of their fishing methods included using wares, which are long nets, which they use to capture fish as they swim by in schools all together, just netting them out. And on occasion, they use deer antler harpoons just to harpoon them as they swim by in the water. All right. And for some of their hunting methods, so traditionally, people think Native Americans and they think of people running after animals with spears. That's actually false. What they did, in fact, was their main method was to set part of the forest ablaze, which would lure the animals out of their hiding and their homes to run into traps, which helped the Lenape Indians save a lot of energy going after them. They really didn't have to try that hard. They kind of just came to them. from that, setting the forest on fire actually was beneficial to them, because once they did that, they would use all the ashes from the dead foliage, kind of spread them around to fertilize the land, and use it for the cultivation of the next harvest for the agriculture. And also, they would change locations seasonally. While hunting and gathering required a close interaction with nature because of the food source, the Lenape had to change seasonally. Because they changed, this also changed the types of foods they were hunting and using for sustenance, which inevitably gave the animals in the area time for them to replenish their populations. This is just an example of some of the ways they prepared their food. The meat was cleaned, deboned, and set either outside in the summer somewhere dry, or over a fire and cured and used as smoke. Bones were pulverized and then set in the boiling water to separate the fat and collagen. Fish was baked whole with the skin encased in clay under hot coals. And for long-term preservation, the fish would be smoked. As you can see, the Lenapes used every single part of the animals that they killed and used for food. Nothing went to waste, which is further proves how sustainable they were and why we're using them as mentors and guides in Lee's Lake Club.
So now I'm going to be talking about some of the sustainable hunting and fishing practices that we use in our club. Compared to industrial meat production and mass meat production, our club uses a sustainable way by having every person hunt and fish for the food for themselves. This will eliminate mass meat production in our eco-village and create a way for an elimination of overhunting, and overpopulation of species will be the only ones that we're actually hunting. In one of the articles, McGlorney states that assuming the number of hunters remains stable and current trends of land protection, habitat restoration, and population management continue, hunting will be sustainable into the future. This is a practice we will provide to our members of our club and use as our practice in our club. Here are some of the business ethics and values we will focus on. They will be making sure our employees are always aware and conscious of the environment that surrounds them. Using sustainable practices, they will make sure that our members do so as well. And using the past techniques of the Lenape Indians, we will be able to ensure this in our employees at the Lee's Lake Club. Some sustainable hunting and fishing practices that we will be using in our club is having it always be monitored by employees to make sure no one is overfishing or overhunting our populations. This will always be made sure of by our employees, and we will also, as Jack stated, introduce the slash and burn agriculture, which will help fertilize our land and in fact help ourselves environmentally. Also, all water that we are using for purposes of the club, such as cooking or heating, will be irrigated from the lake that surrounds the club. And for mass food production purposes, we'll be eliminating this by making each member hunt and fish for themselves, and the community will rely on their own hunting and fishing. This is just a map that we have of Lake Opakong, and this is what we will use to show our different members and people that belong to our club different areas where they could fish for different populations, and also we'll have the limitations specified to them. And these are just some of our works cited that we used along the way to develop our project. Lee's Lake Club overall is a sustainable practice that we developed based off of agriculture needs and the necessary environment of our lake.